Okay, when you think of British planes in World War II, what's the first one that pops into your head? It's the Spitfire, right? Of course it is. But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? We're about to jump into this huge, incredible collection of aircraft that were absolutely key to Britain's survival during the war.
Yeah, the Spitfire is a legend, no doubt about it. But it was just one player in a massive team. There were over 60 other types of planes flying for Britain. I'm talking bombers, transports, naval aircraft, you name it. And every single one had a crucial part to play. So let's get into it and give these other machines their due.
All right, so where should we kick things off? Well, it has to be with the fighters. These are the planes that became absolute legends, the symbols of defiance that held the line over Britain.
And first on our list is the Hawker Hurricane. You know, everyone talks about the Spitfire and it gets all the glory, but this plane, this was the real workhorse during the Battle of Britain.
I mean, this plane was the absolute backbone of the defense. It was tough, it was reliable, and here's the kicker. It was way easier to fix than a Spitfire. In 1940, during the height of the battle, Hurricanes actually shot down more German planes than all other defenses combined. So yeah, not just a workhorse, it was the workhorse.
Okay, and now, the legend itself. The Supermarine Spitfire. Just the name says it all, doesn't it? Speed, elegance, and pure victory.
But here's the thing that made the Spitfire so incredible. It just kept getting better. It was constantly evolving. By the end of the war, they were strapping these beastly 2,000 horsepower Griffin engines onto them. Can you imagine? This constant upgrading meant the Spitfire stayed at the absolute peak of fighter technology, right up until the very last day.
All right, let's shift gears. We're leaving the skies over England and heading out to sea. Because the war at sea, well, that was a whole different ballgame, with its own unique set of flying heroes.
And speaking of heroes, they don't get much more unlikely than this thing. This is the Fairey Swordfish. Everybody called it the string bag. I mean, just look at it. It's a biplane. It looks like it flew right out of World War I into a world of sleek modern fighters. But don't let its looks fool you. This slow, old-fashioned, fabric-covered plane, it delivered some of the most stunning punches of the entire war. It single-handedly crippled the Italian fleet at Taranto, and probably most famously, it was a swordfish that put a torpedo right into the rudder of the German battleship Bismarck, which basically sealed its doom. Incredible.
So yeah, when you hear people call it truly legendary, you get it. This plane had no right to be as effective as it was. Absolutely amazing story.
Okay, so we've covered defense. Now let's talk about offense. Taking the fight to the enemy. That means we're looking at the aircraft of Bomber Command. The planes that had the tough job of flying deep into enemy territory, night after lonely night.
And this is the Vickers Wellington. Its nickname was the Wimpy, which is kind of funny, but man, this thing could take a beating.
The secret was its design. It was built with this really unique, crisscrossing, lattice-like frame. What that meant was it could get shot to pieces and still, somehow, keep flying and get its crew back home. For the first few years of the war, the Wellington was the night bombing offensive. But then came the big one, the plane that became the very symbol of Bomber Command's power, the Avro Lancaster.
I mean, there's no question. This was the most famous and successful British heavy bomber of the war. Its reputation is totally earned. This was the plane that could carry truly massive bomb loads, way bigger than anything before it, and drop them right in the heart of Germany.
And again, it came down to design. The Lancaster had this massive, long, uninterrupted bomb bay. It was a total game changer. It meant it could carry huge bombs, but also really specialized weapons, like, you guessed it, the bouncing bombs from the legendary Dambusters raid.
But you know, the air war wasn't all fighters and bombers. Some of the most important missions, well, they were flown in total secret, by planes designed to operate completely in the shadows.
And when you talk about secret missions, there's one plane that's in a league of its own, the Westland Lysander.
Think of this plane as the secret agent's taxi service. It had this incredible ability to take off and land in ridiculously short spaces. We're talking tiny, improvised fields in the middle of nowhere. So, under the cover of a full moon, a Lysander would just pop into occupied Europe, drop off agents or supplies, and pick people up. Absolutely gutsy stuff.
All right, next up, let's talk about the jack of all trades. The planes that were so versatile you could throw just about any job at them and they'd get it done.
And really, at the top of that list, you have to put the de Havilland Mosquito. What a machine. It was so unique they called it the Wooden Wonder.
Because, get this, it was made almost entirely out of wood. This made it super light and unbelievably fast, and you could turn it into anything. A fighter, a bomber, a reconnaissance plane, a night fighter, you name it. Its best defense was just pure speed. Most of the time, it could simply outrun anything that tried to shoot it down. And for our last category, we've got something totally different. Aircraft that flew without any engines at all. I'm talking about the massive gliders, the silent wings that were absolutely critical for airborne invasions like D-Day. You had gliders like the Airspeed Horsa, which could silently drop 30 fully armed soldiers right behind enemy lines. Or even crazier, the giant Hamilcar glider, which could carry a whole light tank. A tank dropped from the sky without a sound. Wild.
So, there you have it. From the legendary Spitfire all the way to the silent Horsa glider, you start to see that Britain's air power wasn't just one or two famous planes. It was this huge, complex ecosystem of aircraft, each one built for a specific, vital job. It wasn't just one hero plane, but a whole fleet of them that won the war in the air. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Of all these forgotten workhorses we've looked at, which one do you think really deserves to be more famous?